we rolling? Okay, Chuck Roberts from Roberts Armory World War II Museum in Rochelle, Illinois. Today is Duck Day. DUKW is the official name, but everybody calls it a duck. This is an amphibious vehicle on a 2.5-ton chassis with a Sparkman and Stevens tub on top. And over here we'll see the controls to operate the vehicle. Behind the steering wheel here, there's a tachometer, coolant temperature, volts on the battery, the fuel level, and the oil pressure. Those are the main ones. This one is set up with 2 auxiliary fuel pumps, one here and one there. So when it's started up after a long time sitting, it pumps the fuel to the carburetor before you wear out the starter and trying to start it. And over here we have the selector for inflate or deflate the tires. Here's the speedometer, and here shows the air pressure in the tire. For instance, if you're on sand or mud coming out, a pressure of something like 15 to 20 pounds pressure is the appropriate pressure. But when you get to harder ground like on coral, it's like 20 to 30 pounds, and on the highway anywhere from 30 to 45 pounds pressure on the tires. This is automatically selected because it has a tire pump inside the engine compartment, and you can select when to inflate and deflate. The oil pressure, the fuel pressure gauge is shown here. This is an add-on to make sure you get the proper fuel pressure. And there's 2 ignition switches. It's usually just one, but 2 is here. One is a lockout for the main switch on the battery, and the other one is for the ignition. On the floor here we see the clutch, brake, and the accelerator and the starter. It's a foot starter there. The handbrake, emergency brake. And then the lever on this side here, the neutral, low, and high, is for the winch on the back. And the winch will actually have a cable on the back that comes right through this hole and over the front, or it can be on the back also. The shift pattern is shown here. Not the regular shift pattern. 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and reverse. And then shown here is the drive shifter. In other words, when you're in the water, you have this down to neutral so that the wheels do not turn in the water. But the propeller is allowed to turn. You should be able to operate the propeller on the clutch. Shown here is the propeller engagement lever. You push down here and it engages the propeller forward, and you shift over here and you go back, and that engages the rear drive on the propeller. When you're entering the water, you should have everything in gear, and then as you slowly enter the water with the brakes on, engage your propeller, and as soon as you hit the water and start to move away from the shore, disengage the lower drive by going to neutral. That's so you don't keep winding the apparatus, the drive shafts, while underwater. Shown here is the particular aspects of the vehicle, your shift patterns, and all the directions on how to use it. And over here to the right is the spotlight. And it's very hard to get a spotlight handle. These are very rare, so that one was made by a 3D printer. And we see the front seat here for the person who's assisting, and of course the driver right there. And it gets fairly warm in here because the engine is right up front. The exhaust of the air out of the radiator is a pusher radiator, so it pushes the air out and it comes out the side here and sometimes gets sucked right back in, so it gets pretty warm. And that's a quick review of the controls on a DUKW.